We have known each other a very long time. It's your first time on this program, and I'm nervous about that.
Oh, dear.
You know, at first I thought when they said, want to do this show, I thought, oh, yeah, I've known her forever. This will be fine. What we just heard today in two places, one on Fox,
right,
which was a stunning thing to watch, but then also in Pennsylvania, two versions of this candidate. In complete control of her message and what she wants to deliver in Pennsylvania, and then fighting back misinformation on Fox. What are you seeing in this candidacy as you watch it at this stage?
What I'm seeing is a person who has the character, the values, the temperament, the discipline to be an absolutely first-class president. And that's what I want the American people to see as well, Lawrence. You know, you gave these two examples. Her speech in Pennsylvania, right on the point where George Washington crossed the Delaware, and she reminded us of that heroic fight for our liberty. She covered all of the important points about the danger that someone who doesn't believe in our Constitution, doesn't believe in the rule of law, doesn't believe in the kind of fundamental values that we hold dear in our country, and that Washington crossed that Delaware in order to wage a revolution and achieve. And then on Fox, she stood up for herself. She didn't take any of the sort of foxiness rhetoric that came from Bear. And she was able to make her points despite every effort to undermine her and talk over her. She's exactly the kind of person that I want to be president.
You know, we had a minute to talk privately. I know you well enough to know you're really enthusiastic about her. Now, here's what else I know. No matter who the Democratic nominee would be, you'd be sitting here.
Yes.
And you'd be pushing that nominee. And you have done it for every Democratic nominee that you can help, and you always will. But you're really personally enthusiastic.
I am so excited about her candidacy. I've known her a long time. Her sister actually worked for me in the 2016 campaign, so I know the family. I did everything I could to help her as vice president. You know, vice president is a tough position for anybody. Here she was, our first woman vice president, coming in during COVID, for heaven's sakes. It was such a complicated time. And I know how well prepared she is, and most importantly, how profoundly she loves and wants to serve this country. And so when the change came and President Biden made that really selfless, patriotic decision to step down and endorsed her, I immediately followed suit and endorsed her. And I think she's run a nearly flawless campaign. She was thrown into the deep end, and she had a great convention. She wiped the floor with Trump in the debate. I could not be more excited.
The New York Times account of that day is you're on Martha's Vineyard. By the way, I was on Martha's Vineyard, too, and I had to rush back, too. You're on Martha's Vineyard, and your husband gets a phone call from the Vice President of the United States. Shortly after that, you get a phone call from the Vice President of the United States. It's not a package deal with her. These are two different individuals who she wants to speak to. You both decided faster than anyone to endorse her. What was that decision about?
It was about a couple of things. First of all, it followed Joe Biden's endorsement.
Yes.
And I thought she had earned it. I thought that she and only she had been on the ticket with him during the primary season. I knew that all the work that had been done in the Biden campaign to raise money would not go to anyone else but her, because she had been the running mate. And I also knew that some of the, the wishful thinking and the speculating about let's have some sort of, primary where people go on Lawrence's show and everybody watches them or something like that made absolutely no sense. That we didn't have the time, and it would not be in any way effective, and it would not help us win. So for reasons having to do with her and the fact that I thought she was eminently qualified, the process, the rules, and let's get to the convention and get off to the fall campaign, I didn't have a single doubt about endorsing her.
It's so reassuring for me to hear that from someone so wise about all of this process, because that was exactly my position. As I was saying, like there's a fantasy out there that you can go out and suddenly rush some kind of primary that would be decided at a convention.
Well, first of all, anybody who had any future ambitions, and we have a great bench of Democrats, wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
And they didn't.
And they didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
As we go forward in this campaign, do you think there is a closing issue, a single issue that should be top of this campaign, or is top of the campaign?
I think that the vice president has kind of pivoted toward the closing argument, and the closing argument has two parts. The closing argument is, what kind of country do we want to be? What kind of people are we? Do we want to be divided? Do we want to be, set into arguments with each other that we can't ever agree on solving our problems? And she is qualified to bring our country together, and he is not. He is increasingly evidencing, as he did at that bizarre 39-minute on the stage, bopping to the songs that apparently he plays at Mar-a-Lago, he is unqualified to be president. He's unqualified by temperament. He's unqualified by behavior. He's unqualified by experience. He's unqualified by his agenda, the Project 2025 agenda. And so I think she's converging those two arguments. And really, that is the argument. I mean, people have to ask themselves, look, I may not agree with her. It's the kind of Liz Cheney argument. I may not agree with her on issues, but boy, do I agree with her that our democracy is at stake. Mm-hmm. I want to protect our freedom and our rights and the rule of law and everything we hold dear. She's our only choice. And guess what? Besides, he is increasingly unstable and unhinged. We have seen evidence of that, but now it's every day, Lawrence. It's every day. And he's increasingly threatening and dangerous. You were 100% right in your opening to point out he has threatened to put the American military in our streets, not only to deport people he thinks should be deported, but the rest of us who don't agree with him, who have a different view about what is the best interests of America. So I think it's a positive argument for her, but more importantly for our country, for our democracy, for our freedom. And it's a reminder of how dangerous he is.